Mary Magdalene, the name that echoes through centuries as both a mystery and a beacon of faith. Often misunderstood, her story has been cloaked in shadows, her true role buried beneath layers of tradition and forgotten texts. But hidden within the ancient Gospel of Mary lies a remarkable tale, one of secret teachings, divine wisdom, and a profound relationship with Jesus that defies the narratives we've long accepted. This gospel, once cherished by early Christian communities, yet later excluded from the sacred canon, reveals not just the woman behind the name, but a deeper spiritual journey, a path of gnosis and inner transformation that calls to seekers even today. In this story, Mary is more than a disciple. She is a visionary, a bearer of mysteries entrusted to her alone. The Gospel of Mary speaks of knowledge beyond the physical, insights into the nature of sin, matter, and the soul's ascent through realms of light and shadow. It challenges us to reconsider what we know about faith, about the divine feminine, and about the power of the mind to connect with the source. As we embark on this journey through forgotten scripture and hidden wisdom, we begin to see Mary Magdalene not as a figure confined to the past, but as a timeless guide whose legacy inspires a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the sacred story. In the vast tapestry of biblical history, Mary Magdalene emerges as a figure both revered and misunderstood, a woman whose true story has often been clouded by myths and tradition rather than the clarity of Scripture. From early Christian writings to centuries of theological interpretations, Mary Magdalene's image has been shaped and reshaped, sometimes unjustly reduced to that of a sinner or even a harlot. Yet, when we turn back to the original texts, especially the New Testament, a different narrative comes into focus, one that honors her as a devoted disciple, a witness to the resurrection, and a bearer of profound spiritual insight. The New Testament does not label Mary as a prostitute. This misconception arose later through conflations of various women mentioned in the Gospels. For instance, Luke 7:36-50 tells of a sinful woman who anoints Jesus' feet, an act often mistakenly attributed to Mary Magdalene. However, the biblical texts consistently distinguish Mary Magdalene as the woman who stood steadfastly by Jesus during his crucifixion and was among the first to witness his empty tomb and resurrection. This distinction is crucial, for it reveals a woman of unwavering faith and courage, a disciple entrusted with the most sacred news of Christianity. Such a role contrasts sharply with the narrative imposed upon her by later traditions seeking to diminish her significance. This misunderstanding reflects a broader lesson about the power of storytelling and cultural narratives. How easily truth can be obscured when stories are filtered through the lenses of bias, fear, or control. The Church's historical marginalization of Mary Magdalene's role mirrors a tendency to silence powerful female voices, a reality that still echoes in many aspects of spiritual discourse today. It invites us to question how many other truths have been similarly overshadowed, and calls us to seek the original light hidden beneath layers of interpretation. Turning now to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene itself, a text that breathes new life into this veiled story, we find a window into early Christian thought that diverges from the canonical Gospels in remarkable ways. Written possibly in the 2nd century AD and preserved in a 5th century Coptic manuscript, this Gospel reveals Mary Magdalene not only as a beloved disciple, but as a teacher and visionary who receives private revelations from the risen Christ. The Gospel is structured around dialogues, rich with theological depth, where Jesus imparts secret wisdom about the nature of the soul, sin, and salvation. Unlike the familiar narratives emphasizing Jesus' physical acts and parables, the Gospel of Mary delves into spiritual knowledge, gnosis, that transcends ordinary understanding. It presents a cosmology where the material world is imperfect and often a source of confusion, while the soul's journey is one of ascending through powers and realms that seek to bind it. Here, sin is redefined, not as an inherent stain on humanity, but as actions that distance one from divine truth, often rooted in ignorance or attachment to matter. This radical reinterpretation challenges the listener to reflect on their inner state rather than external judgment. One striking passage from the Gospel addresses the soul's confrontation with 7 hostile powers: darkness, ignorance, jealousy, and others representing internal struggles and barriers to enlightenment. This allegory resonates deeply with ancient Hermetic principles, such as all is mind, highlighting the mind's role as the battleground and gateway to spiritual freedom. The text's emphasis on the mind as a mediator between the soul and spirit suggests a nuanced understanding of human consciousness, inviting seekers to cultivate awareness and discernment as paths to salvation. Mary's role in this gospel is transformative. She emerges as the one chosen to preserve and communicate these teachings, even in the face of skepticism from other disciples. The narrative depicts a tension between Peter and Mary, mirroring early conflicts about authority, gender, and the transmission of knowledge. Peter's doubts and challenges underscore the resistance faced by those who carry unconventional wisdom, especially women, within patriarchal structures. Yet, Mary's unwavering faith and eloquence affirm her position as a spiritual leader whose insights are vital for the community's growth. This dynamic between Mary and the other apostles offers a timeless lesson on humility, openness, and the recognition of truth, regardless of its source. It calls believers to move beyond rigid hierarchies and embrace the gifts brought forth by diverse voices. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene thus becomes not only a historical document, but a mirror reflecting ongoing struggles within religious traditions to honor the fullness of divine revelation. As we weave together the threads of history, tradition, and scripture, the figure of Mary Magdalene stands restored as a disciple of profound depth and significance. The gospel attributed to her reveals a theology rich in mystical insight and spiritual encouragement, one that resonates with those seeking a more intimate and experiential connection with the divine. It challenges modern readers to look beyond surface narratives, inviting a return to the wellspring of ancient wisdom, where Mary's story unfolds in its full glory. This journey through Mary Magdalene's life and gospel opens the door to deeper questions about faith, knowledge, and the transformative power of revelation. As we step further into this sacred narrative, we are called to listen with hearts open to the hidden truths long obscured. Truths that invite each of us to partake in the eternal quest for light, understanding, and grace. In the quiet chambers of early Christian history, a question lingers like a whispered secret. What was the true nature of the relationship between Mary Magdalene and Jesus? For centuries, tales and theories have woven a tapestry of mystery. Some suggest a bond deeper than teacher and disciple, hinting at love, companionship, even marriage. Such notions have captivated imaginations and sparked controversies, popularized in modern times by novels and films, yet the historical evidence remains elusive, veiled in shadows and silence. Amidst this intrigue, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene offers a rare glimpse into a relationship that transcends the physical, a sacred connection rooted in spiritual intimacy and divine wisdom. Rather than a worldly union, it reveals Mary as the beloved disciple, chosen to receive secret teachings from the risen Christ, entrusted with knowledge not shared with others. This spiritual partnership speaks to a profound level of trust and recognition, where Mary's insight surpasses mere loyalty, embodying a unique role in the unfolding mystery of salvation. Yet this closeness stirred unease among some of Jesus' other followers. The Gospel records moments of tension and doubt, with Peter questioning Mary's authority and the legitimacy of her revelations. This discord reflects early struggles within the fledgling church, challenges of leadership, gender dynamics, and the acceptance of hidden knowledge. Mary's tears and steadfast defense of her experiences remind us of the trials faced by those who bear the mantle of truth, often in the face of skepticism and opposition. These ancient debates mirror timeless human themes, the challenge of recognizing wisdom when it comes in unexpected forms, the courage to stand firm amidst doubt, and the transformative power of faith that transcends societal norms. Mary Magdalene's story, therefore, is not only about a relationship with Jesus, but also about the courage to claim one's rightful place in the spiritual journey. Delving deeper, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene unfolds a rich tapestry of esoteric teachings, mysteries that invite the soul to awaken and ascend beyond the shadows of ignorance. Central to these teachings is the concept of gnosis, or spiritual knowledge, as the key to liberation. The soul's ascent is depicted as a journey through formidable obstacles, 7 powers representing darkness, ignorance, jealousy, and fleshly cunning. Each power symbolizes an inner barrier that the seeker must confront and transcend. This allegory resonates deeply with ancient wisdom traditions, aligning with the Hermetic principle that all is mind, where the battleground of liberation lies within the consciousness. The Gospel teaches that true salvation arises not from external rituals, but from inner transformation, a shift in perception and awareness that aligns the soul with the divine source. It calls upon the seeker to awaken the mind, embrace discernment, and cultivate purity of thought as the path to reclaiming divine unity. Mary Magdalene emerges here not merely as a recipient of secret knowledge, but as a guide and exemplar for all who seek the sacred path. Her teachings emphasize that overcoming these inner powers is a personal and courageous journey, one that demands faith, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to truth. The Gospel invites believers to look inward, to recognize the illusions of the material world, and to awaken to the light within. This sacred wisdom, once hidden and contested, now beckons to those yearning for deeper spiritual understanding. It challenges the faithful to embrace a holistic vision of salvation, one that honors the mind, soul, and spirit as interconnected facets of divine existence. In embracing Mary Magdalene's teachings, seekers find a timeless guide through the complexities of faith, the trials of self-discovery, and the ultimate promise of reunion with the Source. As we continue to unravel these profound mysteries, the journey leads us naturally to contemplate Mary Magdalene's legacy as the embodiment of spiritual resilience and enlightenment, a legacy that continues to inspire and transform across generations. Mary Magdalene's story extends beyond the scriptures into the realm of esoteric wisdom and spiritual transformation. According to certain mystical traditions and texts like You the Source, Mary is not merely a disciple, but a radiant vessel through which divine creation flows. Her connection to Jesus transcends physicality. It is a communion with the very source of all life, the eternal light that underpins existence. In this sacred union, Mary becomes both seeker and creator, embodying the power to manifest reality through the purity of mind and faith. This narrative tells of Mary's profound spiritual journey, where through unwavering faith and surrender, she brings forth a new creation, a child not born of flesh alone, but of spiritual awakening and divine energy. This child symbolizes the potential within each soul to co-create with the Creator, to harness the boundless power residing in the clean mind, or magisterium, the fertile ground where thought and faith converge to birth miracles. This allegory invites all believers to recognize their inherent creative power, encouraging them to awaken to their role as co-creators in the divine tapestry. Mary's example teaches a vital lesson. True creation arises not from physical force, but from spiritual alignment and inner transformation. It calls us to relinquish attachment to the body and material illusions, to embrace emptiness and faith as the vessels through which divine will flows. This path leads to the realization that we are not separate from the source, but intrinsically united with it, capable of manifesting light, love, and healing in the world. The Holy Grail, then, is not a distant relic, but a symbol of the soul's capacity to create through faith and surrender. Yet, the journey of Mary Magdalene and her gospel did not escape the trials of history. The Gospel of Mary, with its radical teachings and elevation of a female disciple's authority, faced suppression and exclusion from the canonical texts. Branded as heretical by the early church hierarchy, it was marginalized and hidden away, its profound insights obscured for centuries. This exclusion reflects the tensions between emerging orthodox doctrines and alternative spiritual currents that sought to preserve the sacred feminine and esoteric knowledge. The marginalization of Mary Magdalene's gospel speaks volumes about the complex interplay of power, gender, and theology in shaping religious tradition. It serves as a reminder that history is often written by those who hold authority, and that many voices, especially those of women and mystics, have been silenced or distorted. This reality challenges modern seekers to look beyond the accepted narratives, to recover and honor the lost wisdom that offers a richer, more inclusive vision of the divine. From this historical suppression emerges a lesson in vigilance and humility, the importance of questioning inherited beliefs, embracing diverse spiritual perspectives, and acknowledging the multifaceted nature of truth. Mary Magdalene's legacy, though suppressed, endures as a beacon for those who seek a fuller understanding of faith, one that embraces mystery, honors feminine wisdom, and celebrates the transformative power of inner knowledge. As the story unfolds, we are invited to reclaim this legacy, to listen anew to Mary's voice whispering through the ages, and to awaken to the sacred potential within ourselves to walk the path of enlightenment and divine creation. Mary Magdalene's enduring influence stretches far beyond the ancient texts, echoing through art, culture, and the spiritual movements of our time. She stands as a symbol of unwavering faith, fierce love, and the courage to seek truth against all odds. Across centuries, painters have immortalized her tear-streaked face and contemplative gaze. Filmmakers have woven her story into powerful narratives, and modern spiritual seekers have embraced her as a guide to inner transformation and the rediscovery of the sacred feminine. Her story resonates deeply in movements that challenge traditional religious norms, especially those advocating for the recognition of women's roles in faith communities. Mary Magdalene's legacy invites a reimagining of spiritual leadership, one that honors intuition, emotional depth, and the integration of mind, body, and soul. She inspires those who feel marginalized or overlooked to find strength in vulnerability and to claim their place within the divine narrative. For today's believers and seekers alike, Mary's journey offers a profound lesson that the path to spiritual awakening is not reserved for the few, but is accessible to all who dare to look within. Her teachings encourage us to embrace our doubts, confront our inner shadows, and open our hearts to the transformative power of grace and wisdom. In doing so, we follow in her footsteps, not just as followers of a past figure, but as active participants in the ongoing story of faith, healing, and creation. Her legacy reminds us that faith is not static. It is a living, breathing journey that calls each soul to rise, to question, and to grow. Mary Magdalene's example challenges us to break free from limiting beliefs and to embrace the fullness of our spiritual potential, becoming co-creators in a world yearning for light and love. In embracing her story, we are invited to awaken to the divine spark within ourselves, to listen for the sacred whispers that guide us beyond fear and limitation toward the eternal truth that unites us all. In the stillness of reflection, as we draw this sacred journey to a close, the story of Mary Magdalene lingers, an enduring flame illuminating the shadows of history and faith. Her life, woven with threads of mystery, devotion, and revelation, invites us to look beyond the surface of tradition and uncover the profound depths of spiritual truth hidden within ancient texts and whispered teachings. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene stands as a testament not only to her pivotal role among the earliest followers of Christ, but also to the timeless quest for divine wisdom and the transformative power of inner knowledge. Through her, we glimpse a path where the soul transcends the confines of material existence and awakens to the boundless light of the source. This tale challenges us to reconsider what it means to be a disciple, a seeker, and a bearer of truth. Mary's story is not merely a historical footnote, but a living call to embrace the fullness of our spiritual heritage, a heritage that includes the sacred feminine, the power of faith, and the courage to stand firm in the face of doubt and opposition. As the bearer of secret wisdom, Mary Magdalene reminds us that revelation is not a gift bestowed upon a select few, but a journey open to every soul willing to seek, to question, and to awaken. In the quiet corners of our own hearts, her voice echoes still, urging us to transcend limiting beliefs, to honor the divine spark within, and to walk boldly toward the light of understanding and grace. The spiritual legacy she imparts is one of resilience and transformation. It teaches that true power arises not from worldly status or external validation, but from the inner alchemy of mind, soul, and spirit, harmonized in faith. Mary's journey, marked by both struggle and enlightenment, offers a mirror to our own paths, reminding us that the pursuit of divine knowledge often demands sacrifice, courage, and a willingness to confront the shadows within ourselves. Yet in this sacred struggle lies the promise of renewal, healing, and union with the eternal source. As we carry forward the light of her story, may it inspire us to cultivate wisdom that transcends dogma, to nurture compassion that bridges divides, and to awaken the creative force residing within each of us. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene beckons not only scholars and seekers, but every soul longing for deeper connection to the divine, to each other, and to the truth that dwells at the core of our being. Her example stands as a beacon for all who dare to reclaim the lost truths, to honor the feminine sacred, and to live authentically in the grace of awakening. In embracing this sacred narrative, we participate in a timeless dance of light and shadow, mystery and revelation, loss and rediscovery. It is a dance that calls us to expand our understanding, to listen with open hearts, and to honor the sacred diversity within the tapestry of faith. Mary Magdalene's story challenges us to rewrite the narratives that have long confined her, and in doing so, to rewrite the stories that shape our own spiritual journeys. As you reflect on these truths, may you find encouragement to explore the depths of your own soul, to seek the hidden wisdom waiting patiently within, and to step into the fullness of your spiritual potential. Let the light of Mary Magdalene's legacy kindle a fire of courage and hope, a fire that illuminates your path and empowers you to be a beacon of truth and love in the world. If this journey through the sacred gospel and the life of Mary Magdalene has touched your heart, illuminated new perspectives, or inspired you to delve deeper into the mysteries of faith, then join us in continuing to explore these hidden truths. Like this video to show your support for uncovering forgotten wisdom, and subscribe to walk alongside us in uncovering more stories that challenge, inspire, and transform. By sharing this message, you help spread the light that Mary Magdalene carried, a light that transcends time, boundaries, and tradition. Together, we honor a legacy that calls for awakening, courage, and the reclaiming of sacred knowledge. We step into a future enriched by the past, where every seeker has the chance to become a bearer of truth and a creator of light. Thank you for joining this sacred exploration. May your journey be blessed, your spirit uplifted, and your faith deepened as we continue to uncover the timeless mysteries that shape our souls and our world.